Hey everyone, how's it going? So we are riding home with Kenny. I got a strange phenomenon that's happened every once in a while, and I don't know how to even explain what happens. Maybe one of you can actually figure this out for me and tell me what it is. What we had was a situation where a customer came in, like 2 weeks ago, I think it was, and we had to do a repair on the engine of their vehicle. To do the repair, you had to discharge the AC system and remove one of the hoses because it was in the way of what you had to do. Now the customer doesn't know any of this, that we had to, basically break down the system and open it up. It's all part of the job. So we recover the system, we pull out this one section of hose and pipe, from the AC system. We do the repair. We replace the seals on that piece of pipe and hose assembly. We put everything back together. It went down directly to the compressor. Put everything back together, recharge it, everything's good. Jaden road tests it, I road test it, everything's fine, customer picks it up. A couple days later, the customer calls and says, my AC stopped working. And like I said, she didn't realize that we had opened up the system. She had no, it was just part of the repair, so she had no clue, and, might not have been anything we did either. You never know. So she brings it in, and we check it out. And there was an obvious leak. How we didn't notice it in the beginning, things happen. What are you going to do? So we checked it out, and it turns out one of the O-rings on that pipe, hose pipe assembly, one of the O-rings was leaking. Did we nick it in the process of reassembling it? Was it like a defective O-ring? It's possible. I've seen that before. Don't know. Don't know what the actual cause was. But we replaced the O-rings and put it back together, recharged it, and of course the system has tracer dye in it, so recharged it, cleaned everything up. We checked it. We even put a sniffer around it to see if there's possibly any Freon leaking out. Nothing. It was good. Okay. So we call the customer and we explain to her exactly what happened. Hey, when we did the repair, we had opened it up, and I guess when we put it back together, one of the seals, they're new seals, must have either got nicked or whatever, or was a defective seal. Okay, thank you for repairing it. She goes on her way. And I think this was Thursday. So then first thing this morning, as soon as I get in, the phone rings, and it's that customer. And now she's mad. And she says, my AC is not working again. I need you guys to fix this. It's been ridiculously hot. Okay, and I can understand her being upset. So she comes in and she's mad. She's angry. She's upset. And she has every right to be. She's not, she's not like taking it out on us or anything like that, but you could tell, body language, the whole bit. She's just not happy. Okay. So the AC is not working at all? She says, no, it's not working at all. Okay. Let me grab my scanner. Let me go get a temperature, a thermometer. So I take her keys. I go out to the car. I start it up. I put the thermometer in the center vents. I hook my scanner up and, I'm letting it load up. I have the car idling and I'm like, put my hand in front of the vent. Air feels cool. Okay. Not thinking too much of it. So I then, check it for codes. No codes. Okay. I drive it around to pull it in the shop and I look at the thermometer and it's at 46 degrees. Now it's 90 something degrees outside. So it's at 46 degrees coming out the center vent. So I look on the scanner and it says the evaporator core temperature is 42 degrees. It's got a probe in it saying 42 degrees. Okay. That's pretty good. If an AC system takes 30 to 40 degrees out of the ambient temperature, that's considered good. Me personally, would I like cooler? Sure, but the system may not be able to do it. I don't know. But I'm like, man, I've got my hand in front of the vent. I'm like, this feels cold. All right, well, I'm not going to say anything just yet. I don't want to go in and say to the customer, well, it's blowing cold. What are you talking about? I would never do that. So I go ahead and I pull it in the shop and I put a pressure gauge set on there and I'm checking pressures, and the pressures are exactly where they should be. Pressure versus temperature and everything else. Everything's right where it should be. You grab the low side line, it's, frosty cold. So I'm like, all right. So like pressures are right where they're supposed to be, so the charge should be fine. Just for poops and grins, I said, to myself, I said, self, let's recover this system. I want to see exactly how much Freon is in here. So Jaden was the one who did the recharge. So now I'm basically just going over everything Jaden did. I wanted to make sure everything was good. And I trust him 100%. He always does a good job. But you never know. Everybody makes mistakes. So I figured, let me just double check everything. So I recover the system. And before I even check to see what it says, because it'll actually give me a readout or a display of how much it recovered. Before I even looked, I said to Jaden, how much Freon did you put in there? Do you recall? He goes, it calls for 0.7. He did remember that. So I was like, 0.7, he goes, kilograms or grams or whatever the heck it is. So I'm like, okay. So sure enough, I go back and I look, and it's reading in pounds, and it says 1.53, which is basically 7.7 kilograms. So I'm like, okay, well, the charge is right on the money. All right. I put that charge back in the system. So now I'm back in the car and I'm checking everything. Everything's working fine. Like I can't figure it out. So I'm like, okay. So I go in and I talk to the customer. Now I don't say anything about the system working. I said, just tell me, when did it stop working? She goes, well, when I picked it up, it wasn't working. I said, when you picked it up Thursday, it wasn't working. She goes, right, it wasn't working. It hasn't worked since I got it back. Okay, all right. All right, let me take it for a ride. So I go up and I get on the highway and I'm looking, and it's staying right about 46 degrees. And the evaporator core temperature is fluctuating a little bit, like 42, maybe 46 if I'm at a stoplight. But it's like right around there. 41 one time I saw when like on a perfect cruise. Okay, well, yeah, I really can't find anything wrong at this point. So I'm like, what do I do? What do I say to the customer? So I get back to the shop. I said to Rob, come out here for a second. I said, just in case I'm nuts, I said, just sit in the car. Tell me what you think. So he sits in the car. He goes, it's cold. Okay. So now one thing the customer had said to me, which I found very odd, was, if you can't fix it, what are you going to do? And I had told her, I can fix it. That's not a problem. I said, I don't know what happened before, so I can fix whatever the problem is. She goes, okay, but what if you can't fix it? I can fix it. Don't worry about that. I will fix. I guarantee you I'll fix whatever this issue is. So I had gone back into her and I spoke to her and I said, okay, what I did was I verified your charge and the charge was fine. I said, I checked all the blend doors and everything else, and the blend doors and everything else were operating as they should. I said, your evaporator core temperature was 42 degrees. Coming out of the center vent was 46 degrees. I said, to me, it feels nice and cool. I took it for an 18-mile road test and everything seemed to work fine. I can't get it to fail on me. I said, can you take the car and drive it and let me know what you think? So, she's still not happy. And she says, I'm going to take it, but if it's not fixed, then what do I do? I said, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Can just take it and then let me know what you think. Okay. So she takes it, and about an hour later, the phone rings, and I look at the caller ID, and it's her. And I'm like, please don't tell me that, the AC stopped working, because I couldn't verify it, obviously. So she calls up, or I pick up the phone. I'm like, thank you for calling. And then she says, Kenny, I don't know what you did, but you're a magic man. I'm like, I'm a magic man? She goes, yep, you're a magic maker. You're a magic man. She goes, the AC has never worked this good since I got my vehicle. Okay. I didn't do anything. Obviously, I didn't charge her anything. I didn't do anything. I even told her I didn't do anything. I just verified what was there. So, what happened? Like, I've seen other issues like this in the past, where people will get work done, and I've seen this my whole life. People will get work done, and then they'll come in and they're complaining about something. They're irate, they're mad, and you go and you go double check your work, and you're like, I can't find anything wrong with this. So you tell them, I just double checked everything. I verified all the specs. I verified this, that, and everything is right where it's supposed to be. I can't duplicate your problem. Can you please, take it for a ride and, let me know what you think. And then people come back, oh, it's so much better now. But I didn't do anything. So if you guys have an explanation for this weird phenomenon that happens every once in a while, I mean, it's not often, but it does happen. Like, maybe once every couple of years I get a situation like this. But if you guys have an explanation for it, can you let me know? Because I'm really curious. Just leave a comment and let me know what you think. All right, well, that's pretty much it. If you guys are liking my videos, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. Hit the notification button so you get notified when I put up a new video. And that's about it. All right, guys. I hope you have a great day. Keep wrenching.